apples on the trees, for the golden butter and the honey from the bees. For roots and nuts and berries, we gather on our way. Hey, hey! We thank our loving Mother Earth and bless her every day.
Can you do that? Hi, everybody. We're Whistling Kettle, and my name's Galen, and we're so happy that you're here. I'm just going to give a couple of introductions and explain a little bit about what this show is. So, first of all, this is Emmy, we've got Naomi, John's here, we've got Ollie, we got Erica, and most importantly of all tonight, we have Linda Siegel. So we're all really excited about this show. We've been working on it for about a month, and we've been thinking about it for longer than that. The whole idea is that we're exploring community, sort of through the eyes of Linda and through Linda's stories and experience and what she thinks about community, and then also all of us. Well, we've just been our rehearsals have been a lot of conversations about what community is and what this show is, and in and of itself it's been this community building experience where we all get to hang out and share food together and do this stuff. So Linda, some of you know Linda and probably some of you don't. Linda lives in Fairfield. She's a friend of ours, probably a friend of many people here, and you've lived in Fairfield for 20 years, more than 20 years, Linda. More than 20 years. Linda hangs out a lot at a house called Point Street. Several of us live at Point Street. A couple in the audience live at Point Street. Probably many of you have been to Point Street or had dinner there. So this is a community house in Fairfield. There are 14 or 15 of us who live there. 16 now. It's this big, beautiful community house that's been going as a community house for more than a decade. And so Linda is a big part of the community there. And so I mention that because it's something that's come up a lot in our conversations, and it's something that's important to Linda. So we're going to be doing a mixture of things. You're gonna see. Linda will just do some talking, a bit of a monologue, and there will be some interviews with some of us and Linda, and then we're going to be doing scenes inspired by these stories and opinions, anything that comes out. We're going to do scenes inspired by those. The scenes are just inspired by, so they might be playing on some emotion that we see. You may not see any resemblance between the scenes and the stories, but try to see some resemblance. It may be there, but I guess
Find it.
one thing we wanted to find it. Yes. One thing we wanted to mention is that the scenes that we're doing are just totally made up. We have no idea what's going to happen tonight. It really is improv, so that should be exciting, and wish us the best. There's going to be a 15-minute intermission. I think Tim mentioned that. Please, if you have a cell phone, turn it off. And thank you. Oh, one more thing I wanted to mention. Thank you so much for coming. Part of the really cool thing about this show, one added bonus for us, is we think that the sales from the tickets for the show are going to allow us to pay our entry into the Fringe Festival. We've been accepted into the Fringe this year. We're really excited. Please come and see us in the Fringe in late summer because you helped us go there. So without further ado, please enjoy Improvising Community with Linda Siegel.
When you turn the corner and you bump into yourself, then you'll know you turned the last of all the corners. That's by Langston Hughes. Now why did I choose that? Really because in preparing for this is an improv speech, monologue, though I cheated a little bit and wrote some stuff on. But really, it has me looking at my life, and that's scary. And I realize that I've turned many corners, too many maybe, and somehow I ended up here. So I would like to just tell you a few things about me that some of you may not know. Number one, I was born and raised in Providence, Rhode Island. That's why I'm so tiny. Now, my mother and father were born and raised there also. And after, I was the only child of older parents. And I was raised by a housekeeper until I was about 11 and a half. And what this means was I didn't really bond with my parents, except I didn't bond with my mother. And I grew up, and then this thing happened. When I was 17 and a half, my father, who was laying down on the sofa in the living room, suddenly we heard a thump. My father rolled off the sofa, and he never spoke again. He went into a coma, and he lived for 7.5 years. He didn't walk or talk, and when he knew something, tears would come to his eyes, and no sound. So for those of you who know me, this accounts for some of my pessimism about life. And it was really difficult because I had to go to high school, finish, work, and then get myself to university. And this was hard. It seemed impossible. But I came up with a solution, a crazy solution. I gave myself amnesia. If you think you can't give yourself amnesia, trust me, you can. But with this amnesia, I forgot some of my high school subjects. And this is no lie, because later I had to take the graduate records exam, and I couldn't remember my math. So that was part of my journey. I don't really like that word. I trip. That fits me better. So now, I'm timing myself, but because I don't know how long this takes, and I don't know how far to go with this life. So some people are going to ask me questions and interview me. And some things are personal. But I will say this in terms of belonging. I was born into a particular tribe, as I call it, but it never fit for me. So I am tribeless at this moment, but I hope I'm still a member of the human race. So I thank you for coming, and where's my improv people?